welcome to IFL's Crafternoon on Facebook. Today we're going to be making a macrame plant hanger. For this project you will need approximately 33 yards of macrame cord, a metal ring, a pair of scissors, and a ruler. Let's get started. Start by cutting 8 pieces of macrame cord that are 12 feet long. Then you're going to loop the 8 cords through the ring and fold the cords in half to find the center. You want the ring right at the center like this. Now we need to secure the ring. You can either tie a large knot right below it or make a bit of a fancier topper like I'm going to show you. You're going to cut a piece of cord about 2 foot long and lay it so one end is sticking up towards the ring with a short tail. Then fold the other end up towards the ring, leaving about a 2-inch loop. Just under the ring, begin wrapping the long end around the bundle of cords, working your way down the loop. Keep your cord tight as you wrap and continue wrapping until the topper is about as tall as you'd like, or until you have about 2 inches of tail left. Now you're going to thread the tail through the loop, keeping everything snug with your other hand.
Put it through our loop.
Now grab the short tail that you left sticking at the top and give it a tug. It will catch the long tail that you threaded through the loop and pull it up underneath the cord you wrapped around. It should feel snug and secure. Now you can clip the ends at the top and the bottom. Just make sure you don't cut any of your 8 long cords. Now separate the bundle of cords into 4 groups with 4 cords in each group. Going to tie a starter knot. I made my knots about 20 inches from the topper. You can make your planter any length you like, but if you're going to make it longer than 20 inches here, you'll need to start with a longer cord. I'm just going to tie each of my 4 groups into a knot. Below these starter knots, you'll begin making your actual macrame knots. For this project, I'm going to be doing a spiral for the top part and then a flat knot for the bottom part, so you will get to see how both are made. The first thing I did was take 1 group of cords and tape them to my table. You're going to have your 2 center cords and your 2 outside cords. You're going to take your right cord and make it into an elbow. You'll take your left cord over top of your right cord and then under the center cords and through the loop. You're then going to pull those cords tight. Now, because I'm making a spiral here, I'm going to continue this process the same exact way, making the elbow with the right cord, putting the left cord over top of the right cord, under and through the loop, and pulling tight. You're going to want to do this so that you have about 4 inches of knots. So again, make the elbow, put your left cord over top of the right cord, under the center, through the loop, and pull tight. You're going to do this for each of the 4 sections of rope. And again, you're going to want about 4 inches of knots. Have all 4 of our sections done, we're going to make new sections. We're going to divide each of these groups in 2, and you want to make sure you have one of your center cords and one of your outside cords in each group, and we're going to end up with 4 new sections of 4 cords. The pairs at the far ends will join together to make the 4th group in a minute. Here we are going to be making a square knot. So you're going to measure down about 4 inches from your spiral. And again, I'm just going to put a piece of tape here so that I know where I want my knots to start. For the square knot, we're going to again separate our cords so that we have 2 center cords and 2 outside cords. And we're going to start just like we did before with the right cord, making an elbow over top of the center cords, putting the left cord over top of our right cord, underneath the center cords and through the elbow, and pulling it tight. Now, because we're making a square knot here, we're going to do the knot the opposite direction this time. So we're going to take our left cord and make an elbow, take our right cord over top of the left cord, underneath the center, through the loop, and pull it tight. And as you can see, this makes our cord lay flat. We're going to do this 6 times, so 3 on each side for each of the 4 sections of cord that we have. going to bring together the 2 stragglers at each end to make the 4th group and for the ties. Make sure that the 2 strands that were the outside cords before are your middle cords now, and the formerly center cords are on the outside. Do the same thing one more time. Separate each group again to create 4 new groups using 2 strands from each group. This will actually take you back to your original groups. Measure down about 3 inches from the last row of knots and tie 2 square knots, or 4 elbows. I only do 3 inches here because I like where the knots hit my pot better with the smaller gap. You might want to leave a slightly bigger gap for larger pots or a smaller gap for smaller pots. But really, this setup is pretty flexible and will hold just about any type of pot. Continue going around creating your groups and tying your knots until you have all 4 groups of knots done. Now that we have all of our knots tied, I'm going to line up my bottom knots and pull all of my cords together and tie one very large knot about 2 inches below my last row of knots. I'm going to pull this really tight, and then I'm just going to trim up the ends, and you can make these at whatever length you want. Now you just need to insert a potted plant and you've got a great macrame plant hanger. Stay safe and see you next week on IFL's Crafternoon on Facebook.